Thank you for staying with us here on THV 11 Plus for Arkansas News Now. I'm Ashley King with meteorologist Simone Thomas. We were just talking about these clouds and the warmer temperatures. Some people are not liking these warmer temperatures.
You got some people that are winter fans and are angry because they're like, where's my white Christmas? But then you got those summer fans like our general manager, Marty Slack. I know he's excited for the Christmas forecast. If we could move some of these clouds out of the picture, I think even today would be fairly nice. We're already starting to warm up a bit more behind the cool down we saw over the weekend, especially some of our neighbors to the south in the middle and upper 60s, already up to 66 in Monticello and 64 in Camden. Pine Bluff has even crossed the 60-degree mark, still holding on to the lower and middle 50s between Little Rock, Hot Springs, and Conway, but looking to warm up a little bit more through the afternoon, could likely flirt with the 40-degree mark. Still going to be overcast even once we approach sunset, but it does look like we're going to start to see that warm up today. It gets even warmer from here between now and the holiday. I'll have all of those details coming up in your 7-day outlook.
Congress is pushing for the release of all the remaining files related to the convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Many documents were made public on Friday, but many more were held back, and a lot of information was blacked out. Scott McFarland has reaction from lawmakers who say the DOJ isn't obeying the law.
A release of tens of thousands of pages from the Jeffrey Epstein case files hasn't done much to dampen the controversy. The records include images of celebrities, several showing former President Bill Clinton. Also released travel logs and Epstein contact lists that include then private citizen Donald Trump's name. An Epstein phone message with Trump's name too, though none indicate any wrongdoing from the president. But the Justice Department's release was incomplete and laced with redactions. Annie Farmer is an Epstein survivor. Newly released documents appear to show her sister, another survivor, notified the FBI about Epstein back in 1996.
There's an awful lot of redactions. An awful lot. You don't seem surprised by that.
I think we have all prepared ourselves for what redactions might look like and that they could be used to continue to protect predators and protect other people in power.
At least 15 files initially released were taken down without explanation, according to a CBS News review, including an image that appeared to show Trump in at least one photo. The Justice Department later clarified that image was flagged for additional review and then reposted after it was determined there was no evidence Epstein survivors were in the image. The Deputy Attorney General claims it's all to protect survivors, not Trump.
You're talking about 1 million or so pages of documents. Virtually all of them contain victim information.
This was a slap in the face of survivors.
Congressman Ro Khanna and Thomas Massie, who sponsored the bipartisan legislation requiring the release of the full case files by last Friday, said they consider legal action or impeachment proceedings against the Attorney General.
They're flouting the spirit and the letter of the law.
The Department of Justice says it is working on removing redactions, but must report to Congress in the coming weeks what's been redacted and why. Scott McFarland, CBS News, Washington.
And happening now, seasonal flu activity is picking up across the country, just in time for Christmas. The CDC estimates there have been 4.6 million flu cases across the U.S. since the season began, and 1,900 patients have died. Influenza A is the most reported flu virus so far this season, and doctors say a particular variant is causing a highly contagious illness with intense symptoms that come on rapidly. Doctors also say it's still too early in the season to determine the effectiveness of this year's flu shot.
There should be some coverage against this strain, but we don't know how good the coverage is against the H3N2 variant that we're seeing. We do still think it's offering protection in the sense that patients who have gotten the flu shot are having decreased severity of symptoms and aren't sick for as many days compared to their counterparts who did not get the flu shot.
Doctors say it's especially important to wash your hands often and use good judgment. If you're sick, stay home and limit exposure, and it's not too late to get a flu shot. The Arkansas Department of Agriculture has confirmed a new case of bird flu in the state. The case was detected in Cleveland County, an area known for commercial poultry production. State inspectors are now quarantining the site and monitoring nearby flocks. Also, the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission has confirmed new cases of chronic wasting disease in Arkansas. 3 hunter-harvested deer tested positive in Grant County and Sevier County. CWD is a fatal disease affecting animals like deer and elk. Officials are stepping up surveillance and asking hunters to submit harvested deer for free testing. And the Conway School District has a new superintendent. The school board voted Sunday to appoint Jason Black to the role after a nationwide search. The board interviewed more than a dozen candidates from several states before going with Black, previously Conway's deputy superintendent. He stepped in to lead the district in July after former superintendent Jeff Collum left the role. In a news release, board members say Black will bring stability to the district and help rebuild trust. Meanwhile, for more than a month now, protesters have stood outside Tim's Tavern in Benton after prosecutors made a plea deal and reduced charges against the owner. But now a new confrontation with those protesters led to a call to police. THV 11's Tanya Motordzitsky spoke to the witnesses and the owner.
After more than a month of protesting outside of Tim's Tavern in Benton, families say the owner, Tim Stepek, is causing harm to the community.
He's done hurt so many people. Why keep on?
He was arrested and charged with 5 counts of sexual assaults on a minor who worked in his restaurant in February of 2024. Last month, he pleaded no contest to 3 counts of endangering the welfare of a minor in exchange for a year of probation. Since the development, several in the community have spent their days protesting outside of the restaurant to voice their anger and frustration. But they say their interactions with him are getting scary. Stephen Cook says he and his family were going to the tobacco store next to Tim's Tavern on Thursday night when they were nearly rear-ended by him. The incident was caught on camera by protesters.
Yeah! Flew in behind us and slammed on his horn inches from hitting my mother's car.
I talked to Stepek inside the restaurant off camera. He says the family took the turn slow and the encounter is not what they're making it seem. He continues to maintain his innocence and on social media said he only pleaded no contest because he felt he could not get a fair trial.
Tanya, thank you. Stepek also told us Friday he's planning to sell the restaurant. No word on when or if that will happen.
Well, your time now is almost 12:38, and if you could believe it or not, these temperatures are already warmer than what the average highs for the day are, and we still have a little bit of warming left to do. Full details on the rest of the week are coming up in 5 minutes.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas.
It's really a fun experience, just getting to be with everybody and doing something special together.
A new Christmas album just dropped, and the artists are not who you might expect. Football players from Arkadelphia High School and a few friends released their own holiday album. You can listen to it right now on Spotify, and even though it's only 4 songs, the players say they're already planning to record more music.
Now, I'm sad because I'm an Apple Music listener, so I can't hear the album, but even from the clip we got, they sound really good.
Sounds very good. Yeah, it's fun. You know, they got together. There's some rap songs on there. They have that beautiful version of Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. And they said they're going to do it again next time. But the O-line there at Arkadelphia all got together.
Don't you love how much technology has evolved that we can record full Christmases albums from our teammates' house?
Right. I think that is so neat.
That is, and that's going to be something so fun for them and their families to look back on for Christmases to come.
Creating memories.
Yeah, great way to get in the holiday spirit if you feel like the forecast isn't helping you do so. I know we've had a few people upset about how warm it is. Well, personally, I'm upset by how cloudy it is. Those clouds still lingering across the state this afternoon with winds coming from the south. That's helping bring some slightly warmer air into the state. We'll see temperatures peaking in the lower to middle 60s in central Arkansas. Further south in southern Arkansas could likely see some upper 60s, even low 70s. It looks like more of us get into the 70s by tomorrow. Christmas Eve hanging out in the middle 70s. Christmas Day right now, the forecast forecast in Little Rock is a high of 73. Right now, that's our number 2 warmest Christmas on record. That record was set in 1942. So if our current forecast holds true, we'll match that number 2 spot. Even a few degrees cooler or warmer will most likely make this top 5 rank. And you see the number 1 and the number 5 spot were all in recent years. So we've been having some pretty mild Christmases as of late, at least. But it looks like for the week ahead, the Christmas will at least stay dry. A few showers possible today and tomorrow, but it definitely looks like Christmas Eve into Christmas Day, a drier pattern is settling up. We could have a stray shower or two coming later on in the weekend as our next cold front approaches, but even that looks very limited as well. As far as the top of this week through the afternoon, it looks like we could see a few stray showers, but some of those clouds breaking down just after sunset. Unfortunately, overnight, as temperatures in those dew points start to match up, we could see more of those low-level clouds and possibly some fog developing across central Arkansas with some showers in the morning. I don't think we're going to get a whole lot of rain accumulation with that, and all that is looking to break down by tomorrow evening. As I mentioned, don't think we're going to get a lot of rain accumulation, and our high-resolution model kind of agrees. Does look like maybe those showers not completely making it to the surface, or we're not picking up on any measurable rainfall. But the good news is that won't give any negative impacts to holiday travel. Now, this forecast is supported by that southerly flow we saw at the top of the forecast. That's going to hold steady through at least Friday into Saturday with some high pressure hanging off to the southeast. That next cold front moves out of the plains and starts to approach the state later this weekend. That's where we saw that opportunity for rain and temperatures at least falling back into the 50s. But even with that dip by the end of the weekend, temperatures are still what's considered to be the norm for this time of year. For context, the norm is considered low 50s. So even today, with today being the coolest day of the week, still above the norm, getting back into the 70s tomorrow. Your Christmas Eve and Christmas Day could potentially be some record-breaking highs in those middle 70s. We'll see some more clouds as we head into the weekend as that next cold front approaches to at least push us back into the upper 50s, and we'll see some low-end chances for rain.
All right, Simone, thank you. Well, check this out. The Little Rock Zoo just announced the birth of a new baby penguin. The African penguin chick hatched on November 16th, and the zoo says it's doing great with its parents. No word yet on a gender or a name, but fun fact, since the penguin exhibit opened, 18 chicks have been born at the zoo. And the baby penguin won't be on display to the public for a while, but if you really want to see some cute penguins from the comfort of your home, SeaWorld may have just the thing. Shanna Handy tells us more about the return of the penguin cam.
This is the only live cam SeaWorld has right now for public view, and as I found out today, there's a lot to see.
Seeing penguins at SeaWorld from this perspective is what the public has gotten used to. Now, the theme park is giving people a closer look through the lens of a web camera.
24-hour access to all the events that are happening in our penguin encounter.
There are over 200 penguins from 5 different species. I had the tough task of going behind the scenes with them today.
Hi.
But before heading inside, I had to prepare by changing into gloves, boots, and a warm jacket.
The air temp in here is about 25 degrees Fahrenheit, which is below freezing.
Isabel Avila is a zoological expert of birds. I asked her what's captured on the live stream, which just launched a few days ago. She says it shows feedings, interactions between penguins and their keepers, as well as each other.
Some breeding type stuff, even some mating, and you'll see a lot of males courting females, which is always really fun.
If you're not familiar with penguin courting, it looks and sounds like this.
So we say those are ecstatic calls. It's a I love you so much and I know you want to date me type of call.
You'll also see some more peaceful moments. For example, when they sleep, though they require far less than the 8 hours as humans need.
They typically have hour-long naps throughout the day. So a lot of times what you may see on our cam is some birds laying down taking a nap. They could also be standing up.
While some of the penguins may be a bit camera shy, others not so much.
This is a bird that we call Miss Pretty Girl. She is a fan favorite and I think a bird that you'll see quite often on the live cam.
Keep in mind the camera's on a 24-hour delay. I'm told that's to address technical issues in the safety of the animals. The penguin encounter hasn't had a public viewing camera since 2012, so bringing it back has created created quite a buzz.
I think it gives you guys a really great insight into what the day-to-day life of a penguin, but also a penguin keeper looks like.
But for now, it's only an experiment for a limited time. The camera shuts off at the end of December.
Any possibility of extending that?
You know what? I hope so. I want it forever and ever.
You can find a link to the camera at CBS8.com. Shanna Handy,
Making friends.
CBS 8.
Well, the world of Arkansas sports lost a giant yesterday. After the break, we'll remember the life and legacy of Al Flanagan.
The THV 11 Sports Desk, sponsored by your Central Arkansas Hyundai dealer.
The Harding Bisons fell in the Division II National Championship game last weekend to Ferris State, but the loss was the only one the team took all season in every sense of the word. The Bisons entered the game undefeated, exited as the clear second best team in the country, an accomplishment in its own right. Head coach Paul Simmons started his post-game press conference by congratulating Ferris, then immediately launched into a tribute to his senior class.
Drew Porter, Dylan Deering, Luke Steppen, Jake Mitchell, Mike Erickson, Xavier Hilton, Will Dunn, Luke Mamana, Clark Griffin, Tony Atchapon, Curtis Jackson, Ty Duggar, Cole Keelan, Troy Wiseman, Luke Janak, Christian Franklin, and Braden Jay. These young men are 51-5 for the Bisons. 3 conference titles, a national championship, and they have left an incredible legacy.
You hear him there listing off every single senior by name, and you can see just how much that love and respect goes both ways at the Brotherhood, a legacy that will go well beyond the wins and the championship rings. Well, for Arkansas and Arkansas State at least, the holiday break is here. All the Razorback and Red Wolves men's and women's basketball teams playing over the weekend and won't play again until after Christmas. It's a rare in-season moment for some rest and healing, and of course, for being with family.
I want them to enjoy this time. I mean, it's a short time. We're one of the few sports that play over 2 semesters. They don't get a break, you know. They didn't get a Thanksgiving break for the most part. They'll barely get a Christmas break, you know. Hopefully we won't get a spring break. So those things are extremely important for them to, you know, to really kind of rest and enjoy their family, because it is important, and time goes extremely fast and it's fleeting. So I want them to really enjoy the Christmas holiday and then to enjoy their family. That's important.
This is who we are. We're champions. And this is what we do. We win championships at Parkview. And that's why they came to Parkview.
That's exactly what Al Flanagan brought to Parkview for so many years. The local basketball legend passed away yesterday at 75 years old. Flanagan played college ball at SAU down in Magnolia, where he remains 4th on the school's all-time scoring list. He joined Parkview as an assistant under another legend, Charles Ripley. And Flanagan took over as head coach of the Patriots in 1996, leading the squad to 7 state championships over the next 2 decades before retiring in 2018. And those championship banners now hang over the basketball court that bears his name, and his legacy lives on in his sons and grandsons who left their mark on Arkansas and the SEC as players and coaches, and of course also through every player who ever shared a gym with Coach.
Coming up after the break here on Arkansas News Now, we're taking a trip on a Christmas train. You have to see for yourself. That's next. Welcome back. Well, all aboard a holiday classic. It began 27 years ago when Canadian Pacific Railway decked out its first holiday train. Now merged with Kansas City Southern, the train is delivering festive fun across North America. CBS's Lana Zach climbed aboard to take us on an adventure.
In a blaze of lights, the CPKC holiday train rolls into town,
transforming this stretch of track into a holiday festival.
It's really joyful, everyone's having fun.
The decorated train attracts crowds despite the cold. It's made up of a locomotive and 13 rail cars, including one that reveals a stage.
I don't care who made it all.
On this night, the singer, Pinkbeard, and the band American Authors got the crowd jumping in 4 different Wisconsin communities.
We were fortunate enough to be part of the CPKC holiday train last year, which was a blast. I was literally texting them, just begging to get back on. I'm like, please, we want to live on the Polar Express one more year, come on.
At a Milwaukee train yard earlier in the day, we joined the journey.
Welcome to the holiday train.
Train master Peter Boyle welcomed us on board, walking us through some of the train's historic cars. So it's 98 years old.
Exactly. Best part of my job is when we roll into a little town and you've got thousands of people waving and kids are super excited to see the train.
CPKC operates 2 holiday trains on the legacy lines of the Canadian Pacific and Kansas City Southern Railways. They visited 13 U.S. states and 6 Canadian provinces, making nearly 200 stops over the past month. Along those routes, CPKC collects food and raises money for local food banks.
$26 million and lots of food. So over the last 27 years, we've raised $26 million and over 5 million pounds of food. Thank you so much.
The mayor of Oconomowoc, Wisconsin, Robert Magnus, accepted a $4,500 check for his city.
There are people that go hungry, and if we can make sure they have more security, it can make a huge impact.
Meals, music, and joy delivered. Lana Zach, CBS News, Oconomowoc, Wisconsin.
Love that.
Not gonna lie, that does look fun. Maybe it should
so
be just
fun.
a little cooler.
Yeah, it looks very, very cold there, but they look like they're having a great time. And I love how the train is all lined with the lights, all the carts. It's so cool.
Oh, Santa Claus is almost here.
Yeah.
We're so excited.
It's almost that time. You're acting like a little kid again, getting ready for Santa to come.
Christmas always brings out the child in
It
me.
does all of us, I think. I think we all get that way around the holidays.
You know, we were talking about this during one of the breaks. Even though 70s for Christmas maybe isn't the most common, that actually feels like my childhood growing up in South Mississippi. It was always pretty mild for Christmas. So this is my cup of tea, but
You're used to this.
I know some people might wish it could be a little bit cooler. Fortunately, we won't get much cooler until we head into the weekend.
Oh, well, all right. It is a little warm for me. I like the cozy fires and, you know, the warm pajamas on Christmas, but it's okay. Looking at the silver lining, we're going to head outside and play with all of our gifts.
Yeah.
I love that. Thanks for joining us.